everyone. Good morning to all of you. Our syllabus for Unit 1 is over. We have Gopal and the Hills of Fish, the Shed, and supplementary one lesson, the Desert. All that is over for Unit Test 1. Today I'm going to start a new lesson which will not come for your Unit Test 1. So you don't have to study this lesson, but I cannot stop teaching because term 1 is already very near. So today I'll be doing this new lesson, lesson 4, the ashes that made trees bloom. I'll be sending you the objectives also. Please have a look at the objectives and start writing the objectives in your copies. Okay, so today I'll be sending you the objectives as well as a few questions. From whatever portion we do today, from that portion I'll be sending you a few questions. So please attempt that. Now this this lesson, the story, the ashes that made trees bloom. Ashes, ashes is what we get when we burn fire. Whatever is left from there when the fire has cooled down, that is ashes. Yes, and this story is about that, the ashes that made the trees bloom. Trees bloom means flowers came out in the trees. Okay, so this is a story about an honest and hard-working old couple. Couple means two people, husband and wife, and their pet dog. They had a pet dog. This story is about this couple and their pet dog. The neighbors are troublesome. They, as always, our neighbors are very, very troublesome. Sometimes, yes, they fight, they shout, they scream, they throw rubbish here, there. Mommy's throwing in their compound and they are throwing back in our compound. That happens. Sometimes fights take place between neighbors. So neighbors are usually troublesome. So in this story also, this old couple they have neighbors who cause trouble all the time, and the dog dies a sad death. This pet dog of the old couple, it had a very, very sad death. It died in a very tragic manner. We'll come to know when we read the story. It's coming up now. The spirit of the dog gives solace and support to his master in unexpected ways. This dog was so much loved by this couple, even when it died, it gave them solace. Solace means peacefulness. Yes, it gave them peacefulness and support to his master in unexpected. You can't even imagine in what ways this dog was able to give them peace. Now, this is not a true story. It's like a folk tale, a Japanese folk tale. There are many stories that we read, Japanese folk tales, but this is one of them. Okay, so coming up now is the explanation of the lesson. Please open your book. If you can't see the screen properly, I have just taken a picture of the pages and put up here, and my voice is there. I hope my voice helps you. Hope my voice doesn't irritate you. So keep your book open and it will be clearer to you. Okay, so continue watching or listening to the video and complete the homework. Copy the objectives first and then write the question answers, or whatever homework I'm going to give you, do that. Submit in Google Classroom. Remember, this time you'll be having your test in Google Classroom. Okay, just remember that, keep in mind. Okay, continue watching. Bye-bye. So I have already introduced the lesson to you in my introductory video about what the story is. So let's go right away into it. The ashes that made trees bloom. You see, on the right side, you will see some word meanings. Daimyos. Daimyos in the 19th century, these were Japanese wealthy landowners. They were landowners. They were very, very rich people, and they had many servants, and they used to roam about in a palanquin, which was picked up by human beings, by people, and they would sit. Like in the olden days, we used to have the bride. Yes, the girl who gets married coming from one village to another village, being carried in a palanquin. Nowadays we have cars, but in the past it used to be carried by 4 men on 4 sides. So these daimyos also were very rich people, and they had these kinds of carriages. Then we have another word on the right side, it is snug. Snug means very comfortable. The last one we have is a being with a soul, like a human child, showing emotion. Showing emotions. A person who has emotions will show emotions. So this is the meaning, a being with a soul, a person who has feelings. Okay. So the ashes that made the trees bloom. In the good old days of the daimyos, there lived an old couple whose only pet was a little dog. They had no children. They had only this pet. Having no children, they loved it as though it were a baby. They loved it so much, it seemed like it was their baby. They had no children of their own, and so that may have been one of the reasons why they loved their pet dog so much. The old dame made it a cushion of blue crepe, and at mealtime Muko, for that was its name, would sit on it as snug as any cat. The old dame means the old lady. Dame means lady. So this was an old couple. So the old lady had made a cushion of blue crepe. Crepe is a kind of a cloth, not smooth cloth. It's kind of a rough cloth, but very comfortable cloth. So the old lady had made a cushion for the little dog, and at mealtime, Muko was the name of this dog. For that was its name, would sit on it as snug as any cat, as comfortable as a cat. It would sit on that cushion made by the old lady. The kind people fed the pet with tidbits of fish from their own chopsticks and all the boiled rice it wanted. Thus treated, the dumb creature loved its protectors like a being with a soul. So this kind couple, they loved this dog so much that they would feed it tidbits from their own plate, tidbits of fish, small pieces of fish from their own plate with their own chopsticks. Now, as you know, Japanese people, they don't use spoon and fork like we use. They use chopsticks. So with their own chopsticks, they would feed the dog their tidbits from their plate, tidbits of meat and fish from their own plates, and boiled rice, plenty of rice. As much rice as it wanted, they would feed the dog. So it was treated in a very, very good manner. And so the dumb creature here stands for this dog. This creature loved its protectors because it felt protected with the old couple like a being with a soul. It seemed like it was just like a human child. Yes, the way it was protected and the way it protected and it looked after and it loved the old couple. The old man, being a rice farmer, went daily with hoe or spade into the fields, working hard from morning until O Tento Sama, as the sun is called, had gone down behind the hills. So this old man was a rice farmer. A rice farmer means he used to grow rice, and every day he would go with his hoe or spade into the fields with his equipment, with his tools to dig the ground. He would take his spade or his hoe to dig in the ground, and working hard from morning until O Tento Sama. O Tento Sama means the sun, until the sun would set behind the hills. So for so long he would be in the fields. Every day the dog followed him to work. Every day this dog would follow this old man to the fields, would go with him to the fields. Okay, let's continue. So this dog would follow him to his work every day, never once harming the white heron that walked in the footsteps of the old man to pick up the worms. So not even once. Now when this man used to walk towards his field, there used to be footsteps left behind. And under these footsteps, because the ground was wet, worms would come out. And to eat these worms, there were white herons. Herons are long-legged birds, just like cranes. You know, cranes, they have long legs and they mostly stay in water. Stay in water means they stand in water and they have very, very long beaks. So heron is a similar kind of bird, just like the crane. And these cranes would follow the man, and wherever the man would step, they would put their beaks into that area and they would eat the worms which would come out from the ground after the old man had stepped on the ground. And not once this dog would harm these white herons. It let the herons in peace. For the old fellow was patient and kind to everything that had life, and often turned up a sword on purpose to give food to the birds. Sometimes this old fellow, that means the old man, he was a very, very patient man. And he never harmed anyone. The very fact that he loved his dog and he would feed his dog with his own chopsticks shows that he is a man who loves animals and who loves mankind and who loves everybody. Sometimes maybe there would be no worms in the ground, so he would and often turned up his sword on purpose to give food to the birds. He would turn up his sword, means maybe a stone, something lying there. He would turn that on purpose. And under the stone, under the dark places, there would be some kind of worms. So he would turn up some things while walking, and the herons would get their food to eat. Sorry. One day the dog came running to him, putting his paws against his legs and motioning with his head to some spot behind. So one day it so happened that this dog came running to him as he was digging in the field. The dog came running to him, and because the dog cannot speak, a dog cannot talk, so the dog began to put his paws, his legs, against the man's legs and motioning him. It seemed like it was telling him something, come with me, come with me. It seemed like he was telling him this, to come with him. And he was showing some kind of a spot behind there. The old man at first thought his pet was only playing and did not mind it. So he thought maybe my dog is trying to play with me, so he did not bother about it. But the dog kept on whining and running to and fro for some minutes. To and fro, it seemed like the dog was very, very restless. It was not sitting still. And then the old man thought that, yeah, maybe something is there and this dog wants to show me that what he has found. The old man at first thought his pet was only playing and did not mind it, but the dog kept on whining and running to and fro, going and coming back for some minutes. Then the old man followed the dog a few yards to a place where the animal began a lively scratching. So the man thought, okay, let me go and see what this dog wants. So it followed the dog to just a nearby place, few yards, just a nearby place, and then to a certain spot on the ground. This dog began to began a lively scratching. Scratching means he began to dig the ground with his paws, with his legs, with his nails. Thinking it was possibly a buried bone or bit of fish, the old man struck his hoe in the earth, when lo, a pile of gold gleamed before him. The old man thought, oh, maybe my dog has found a bit of fish or a bone and it wants to eat that. And so he struck his hoe. Struck his hoe means he hit his tool, his instrument on the ground, his hoe on the ground, on the earth. And lo means, oh my God, suddenly a pile of gold gleamed before him. He found a pile of gold, like you can see in the picture. He found a pile of gold dug in the ground, had been kept in the ground. Yes, it was quite a shock. Gleamed means it was shining, it was glittering like gold shines. Same way this gold also was shining in the ground. And it was this dog that had found the pile of gold. And this is what it was trying to tell its master, the old man. Let's continue. So, he found the pile of gold. Thus, in an hour, the old couple were made rich. Thus, just within 1 hour, the old couple became rich from being very, very poor. Now they were very, very rich. The good souls bought a piece of land. The good souls here stands for the old couple. They bought a piece of land, made a feast for their friends. You see, they shared whatever they had. They made a feast for their friends. They called their friends for food, for a meal, and gave plentifully to their poor neighbors. They gave a lot to their poor people who were there around their homes. They gave them plenty of food, plenty of gold. As for the dog, they petted him till they nearly smothered him with kindness. They petted the dog so much. The dog felt that it was going to die, that it was getting so much kindness, so much love, so much pets, so much hugs from the old couple. Now, in the same village, there lived a wicked old man and his wife, not a bit sensitive and kind, who had always kicked and scolded all dogs whenever any passed their house. So now we have the villains, the gundas, yes, coming into the story. In the same village, they also live another couple, a very, very wicked couple, very, very bad couple, old man and his wife, same old man and his wife, but very, very wicked. Not a bit sensitive. They never sympathized with anybody. They were very, very unkind people. And if they saw any dog anywhere, they would scold the dog and they would kick the dog. If any dog passed by their house, they would just kick it. They had no love for anyone except themselves. Hearing of their neighbors' good luck, now they had heard about this old couple coming, getting all that gold in the ground. They had heard about it. They coaxed the dog into their garden and set before him bits of fish and other dainties, hoping he would find treasure for them. But the dog, being afraid of the cruel pair, would neither eat nor move. So somehow they got a hold of this dog, and they brought that dog into the garden, and they gave the dog bits of fish and other dainties here means other eatables. They tried to give the dog to eat some good things, hoping that the dog would also find them that similar kind of treasure. But this dog was so afraid of these two wicked people that it neither ate nor moved. It would not eat, would not move. Even if it was the most tasty fish, the best eatable there, the dog did not eat or move from there. Then the old couple got very, very angry. Then they dragged him out of doors, taking a spade and hoe with them. Imagine this, taking a spade and hoe, which farmers use in their fields. They took the spade and the hoe. No sooner had the dog got near a pine tree growing in the garden than he began to paw and scratch the ground as if a mighty treasure lay beneath. So they dragged the dog out. As soon as they dragged the dog out, the dog went to a nearby pine tree and began to scratch the ground. And the old couple thought, yes, he's found the treasure for us. Come on, he's found the treasure. Quick, wife, hand me the spade and hoe, cried the greedy old wolf as he danced with joy. The old man became very, very happy. He thought the dog had found them also some kind of treasure, which he had found for the other good old couple. So this greedy old man became very, very happy. And he told his wife, quickly give me the spade. Then the covetous old fellow with a spade and the old crone with a hoe began to dig, but there was nothing but a dead kitten, the smell of which made them drop their tools and shut their noses. Furious at the dog, the old man kicked and beat him to death, and the old woman finished the work by nearly chopping off his head with a sharp hoe. Then they flung him into the hole and heaped the earth over his carcass. See, a terrible, terrible thing. What a terrible thing they had done, this old couple. So this dog had began scratching the ground, and this covetous means very, very greedy old fellow, he thought it was the treasure, and he began to dig the ground. And after digging, he found nothing but a dead kitten, and the smell was so strong, was so bad, that they had to shut their noses. And the old man became so angry with the dog that he beat him to death. And the old crone means the old rough lady, she nearly chopped off his head with the sharp hoe, nearly severed his head, nearly cut his head separate from his body. And then they flung him into the hole and heaped the earth over his carcass. And they threw the body, carcass means the dead body of the dog, into that same hole which they had dug, which they had found the dead kitten. They threw his body into that hole because they were very, very angry with the dog. The owner of the dog heard of the death of his pet, and mourning for him as if he had been his own child, went at night under the pine tree. The old man heard about the death of his dog, and he was very, very sad. He was mourning. Mourning means, like we when someone dies in our home, in our families, we mourn. Like you mourn for 13 days. After 13 days, you have Shraddh. So those 13 days are called mourning. When you don't eat salt, when you don't eat food, you just eat fruits. You cut your hair, you wear dhoti, you sit in the home, you cannot go out anywhere. That is mourning, mourning. So this man went into mourning. He became very, very sad for his dog, because remember that the dog was just like a child to him, because he had no children of his own. And this dog was just like a child to him. And he went at night under the pine tree. He went there where the dog had been buried. He went there under the pine tree. Okay, so let's go for, I hope it is clear so far. I'm going to do one more page. Okay, if not clear, let me know. So the old man went to where the dog had been buried in the ground at night under the pine tree. He set up some bamboo, like you can see in the picture, no? Can you see the picture there? He set up some bamboo tubes in the ground, such as are used before tombs, in which he put fresh flowers. So just like a tomb, tomb where when people die, especially in Christianity, in Islam also, when people die, we don't burn, we bury, and over the dead body we make a kind of a tomb with cement, or in this case he has made with bamboos. All sides he's put bamboo tubes, and then he also put flowers on the grave. Then he laid a cup of water and a tray of food on the grave and burned several costly sticks of incense. He also put a cup of water and a tray with food for the dog to eat. He thought maybe the dog's spirit or something like that. They have their belief. All cultures have their beliefs. We also believe different things. So, and he also burned several costly sticks of incense. Incense means agarbatti. In Hindi we call it agarbatti, incense sticks. So he burned this also on the grave. He mourned a great while over his pet, calling him many dear names as if he were alive. So he really missed his pet dog. He just sat there and he began calling his dog many loving names. Yes, just as if he hoped that the dog would come alive, and he began calling it many names. That night, the spirit of the dog appeared to him in a dream and said, "Cut down the pine tree over my grave and make from it a mortar for your rice pastry and a mill for your bean sauce." So that night, the dog spirit came to this old man in his dream. And in his dream, the dog gave him some instructions. The dog spirit gave him some instructions. And those instructions were to cut down the pine tree. Like you can see the picture there. The dog told him in his dream, "Cut down the pine tree over my grave," which is over my grave, "and make from it a mortar for your rice pastry." Mortar means a kind of a bowl. Mortar and pestle. We call it, it's a set, mortar and pestle, like a bowl which we use for grinding. I'm sure all of us have this in our homes. Small, sometimes it's made of copper, sometimes it's made of steel, sometimes it's made of wood also. We grind with our hand. Yes, it looks like a balan and a big bowl. So he told him, make a mortar for your rice pastry, like Japanese, if you watch Japanese cartoons and all that, you know that they like to eat rice, different kinds of rice, sticky rice, rice cakes. So this dog spirit told the old man, you make this mortar for your rice pastry and a mill for your bean sauce. Mill as in making a kind of an instrument where he could make his soya bean sauce. Yes, Japanese people have their own kinds of food. So he told him to make a kind of mortar and also a mill for his bean sauce. Mill is like an instrument. Okay. So we'll stop here for today, and I hope it is clear to you. I hope the whole story is clear. So this story is about an old couple who had a pet dog, and this pet dog helped the old man find a pile of gold, and they also had some greedy neighbors who heard of this pile of gold, and somehow they were able to coax the dog into their compound, into their garden. They tried to feed the dog good food, but the dog did not find any treasure for them. And in a fit of anger, the wicked old couple killed the dog and buried him under a pine tree. And when the old good man heard of it, he went to the pine tree and he cried a lot there. He made a kind of a tomb. He put flowers, he put water, he put food for the dog. And the dog came to him in the night in his dream. The dog spirit came to him, telling him to cut down the pine tree, okay, not a pine tree, but the pine tree, the particular tree, and to make a mortar from the wood that he gets from that pine tree, and also to make a mill. Mortar for his rice pastry and a mill for his bean sauce. Okay, to grind the soya bean, maybe that, and to take out the sauce from that. They didn't have a mixie in those days. They had a hand kind of mill to grind. So he told him, this dog spirit told him to make that. So I hope it is clear till here. If you have any doubts, please let me know. Okay. This will not come for your unit test. Okay. Bye bye. Take care.